here is my 2 cents on the whole masculine and feminine energies. Big disclaimer, I am not pre-rehearsing this. I am just gonna go ahead and wing it, so there will be some mispronounced words, or that I might be looking at a distance so that I can think of the next word. But if you're up for all of that, I guarantee you're gonna walk away from this video with a little bit more knowledge of how to serve your woman or your man, depending on your sex. All right, if you're game, keep listening and watching. So before we go on this whole masculine and feminine journey, I want you to understand a couple of things. First, our needs drive everything. Right? Our most intrinsic needs are the dictators. It's almost like they sit on this pedestal and they're like, I need that, right? This is where I need you to go. And if we are not in the known, if we don't know how to properly meet those needs, then we're going to be quite messy in life. We have to allow messes, because messes are great teachers. So in my family, in my marriage, we are all about making messes and cleaning them up together so that we can make less messes in the future. So here are a couple of things. The masculine number one need is freedom. The feminine number one need is safety. Okay, and that comes from, over the centuries, over millennia, the women, we have been stolen and sold and raped, and all kinds of things have happened to us. So we actually really need to feel safe. So when you have all of these gurus out there talking about she needs emotional safety, which is true, unless we break it down what that really means, then most men are gonna walk around and be like, I don't know what that means, I don't know how to do that. Well, do I really need to be the one? Can't her girlfriend be that for her? Can she be that for herself? Right? Because men are they don't know what to do with she needs to feel emotionally safe. So we're gonna talk about that. But really, the woman's most important need is safety. So because when she feels safe, she can pretty much do anything, including grant you the freedom that you so very much need. And the need for freedom also is inherently engraved into a man, because he needs to be free to go out there and hunt and do all the things that the masculine is assigned to be doing, right? So freedom is really important. We cannot control our men. We cannot put them into a house or a jail cell. It's almost like putting a bird into a cage, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a beautiful bird, I'm capable, but unless you open this door for me, I'm really not gonna be of much use. And I'm gonna lose my color, and it just doesn't look so good. So how do we work with these two energies? When it comes to men, most of my men, when I ask, hey, what do you need? It's like, oh, I want to fly, I want to get my license, my pilot's license, or I want to go and do this. It's always related to freedom. If it's a musician, he says, I want to be on these giant stages, right? I want to do all of these things that really indicate that I'm seeking freedom. And if his wife is sitting right next to him, which I usually talk to both of them at the same time, when she's sitting there next to him, she's like, well, yeah, must be nice to want freedom, and who's gonna take care of the kids, who's gonna take care of this? So she's already justifying why she can't give him freedom, right? And so when I have a husband and wife who kind of have that dynamic, there's a lot of that energy exchange, I usually ask the man, hey, when it comes to freedom, what are you giving up in exchange for freedom? And he would usually say, well, I give her a paycheck, I give her a home, I give her everything, I give her everything. Well, you do give her everything except for what she really needs, which is that emotional safety that we're just about to break down. And I usually confirm with the wife, how often does she feel heard? Does she feel seen? How often is he justifying his actions? How often is he saying, well, at least I am not fill in the blank, right? So all of that, when he's justifying, deflecting, ignoring, running away, whatever he's doing, that is decreasing her emotional safety. And when her needs are not being met, there's no way in hell that she's going to be willing to meet his needs. And then when he's feeling like a caged bird, then he's like, I'm not gonna give you what you want. And then she's like, I'm not gonna give you what you want. So most couples actually kind of get stuck in that loop. And here's the thing, it's not your fault. If you're finding yourself stuck in that loop, it really isn't your fault. You most likely watched your parents do this, who watched their parents do that, and we can go back centuries, right? And if you're even lucky enough that you grew up with both parents, right? Myself, my dad died when I was 3, and I grew up with a single mother. And so I didn't even have that good example of what an even unhealthy marriage looked like. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing, but whatever it is, it just is what it is. So when a man is not getting his need for freedom met, he's not going to meet her need for safety, and they're going to end up in that cycle. So this morning, I was talking to one of my favorite clients that I have, and I asked him, well, what do you want for her? And he said, I want her to let her hair down. I want her to just feel irresponsible for a minute, right? To just feel like carefree, worry-free. And what he's really saying, I want her to be in her feminine. And what he's really saying underneath that is that I want to be the man that allows her to be that way. And she said, you know what? You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I want. So they both actually want the same thing. And here's why that this is important to highlight. When a man feels like he's created this environment, he's the responsible one, he's the worrisome one, he's the one who's taking care of all of these, and so that she can be herself, so that she can be her feminine self, he actually ends up believing that, hey, I am creating this emotional safety for her so that she can just kind of be herself, which makes me fulfilled because my ego is now being stroked. And she's way more likely to say, okay, honey, go play golf or whatever that is, for freedom for you, right? So when both people dive in on that, unfortunately for you men, it is really mostly up to you, because you are the stability, you're the foundation of every household. You are the one who creates that safe environment. You are the protector. You are the one who kind of puts this whole military on guard so that your wife can kind of dance freely in her home. Then you are going to get exactly what you want. So this is that whole feminine, masculine, basic needs that I can kind of just break it down in a nutshell in the most basic terms. But if you want to go deeper into this, oh my goodness, I would love to go there with you. If you have any questions about this, I would love to answer your questions. And if you are not sure what dynamic you and your spouse are stuck in, go ahead and take the quiz below. And you're gonna learn really quickly what role everybody's playing. If you're masculine, you're feminine, if you're dominant, if you're passive, whatever that is, this quiz is going to tell you, so that at least you have a baseline and you know exactly where to start.